According to a recent UN report, it will take decades to clear the Iraqi city of Mosul of unexploded bombs. Clearance works are being complicated by the fact that many of the bombs are buried under an estimated 11 million tons of rubble. We spoke to the UN Mine Action Services Senior Programme Manager. He compares the situation in the city to that after World War II.
When it comes to explosive hazards, it is of previously unseen proportions in terms of the contamination that we experience. It is a mixture of coalition ammunition that has been fired and that has failed to function. We estimate at least 10% of that ammunition that has been fired has failed to function. We also find ISIS ammunition that has been fired has failed to function, but with higher failure rates. In addition to that, we also find improvised explosive devices, different types of improvised explosive devices with different fusing systems, all in combination with rubble, a high degree of rubble. We estimate 11 million tons of rubble in Western Mosul, at least, and in general, very difficult conditions to work under. It is a situation very similar to after the Second World War, of course. What we are doing right now is that we are clearing, we're serving, and we are clearing critical infrastructure. But still, after 10, maybe 20 years, maybe even longer, there will still be explosive contamination. It is almost impossible to say. We haven't got the full scope of contamination in Mosul yet. We haven't been to all locations. But it is a question of years. And until everything has been cleared, it is probably more than 10 years.
As Mosul struggles to get back on its feet, the Iraqi government estimates that $88 billion are required to rebuild the whole country. At a global aid pledging conference in Kuwait, just over 30% of that figure was raised. The US-led coalition started its anti-ISIL campaign in 2016, but it's been embedded in the country since 2003. However, Washington's pledged just $3 billion of the $88 billion in reconstruction aid needed. And this was not direct financial help. Rather, the money was pledged in loans and financing to help American firms invest in the country.
Much work remains to rebuild Iraq and modernize its economy. To signal its strong commitment, the Ex-Im Bank and Iraq's Ministry of Finance will sign today a $3 billion Memorandum of Understanding.
The announcement by the US government representative in the Kuwait conference was clear. They will not provide anything except perhaps some investment in Iraq. We believe that the Iraqi government, with all its political factions, should have joined forces and demanded to pay the money.